U.S. Constitution has 4,440 words. It's the oldest, shortest written constitution of any government in the world. How about that? Welcome to class today. This is Chapter 2, Lesson 3. We're talking about basically government. More specifically, the U.S. government, and you just finished watching that Schoolhouse Rocks video. That goes over the three branches of the U.S. government. We're going to talk about that a little further down here. But for now, let's talk about the U.S. Constitution. If you've been educated at any point in your lives here in the United States, you already know about the U.S. Constitution. It's the foundation of all our government. And the principles that are based on came from some ancient civilizations like Rome and ancient Greece. And we're actually going to learn about those political theories next year in American Nation. But for now, let's just focus on the very simple basics. Here in the United States, we have a representative government. That means that you and I don't run the government. But when we're all adults, when you grow up, you get to be 18, and me now, we elect people that run the government. They represent us, and they are supposed to do what we want them to do. Our founders created what is called a federal system of government. In the simplest of terms, that means that there is a federal government in charge at the top, and then it shares powers with the state governments. So like there's a government of Pennsylvania, but in addition there is the federal government, the U.S. government. And this is why laws are different in some states than others. Like maybe there are certain substances that are illegal elsewhere in one state but legal in the other. Or the driver age might be different. Or the age at which you're allowed to consume alcohol. It's because every state has their own government. I have this nifty Venn diagram right here that shows us some of these powers. There's powers of the government, powers of the state, and the powers of both. So go figure. Both can raise taxes. That's probably the thing on there we like the least. But an example of a federal power would be declaring war. But at the same time, you have powers that only the state can do, like the state is to establish and maintain schools. So there are some powers that both have, and there's some powers that each have. Now, our government is broken into three separate and theoretically equal branches of government. You may have heard of them. They're called the executive, judicial, and legislative branches. Each branch has its own role in government. They have their own job to do. And this is called separation of powers. And it was created so that no one branch became too powerful. Each branch exercises a limited amount of power over the other branches. This is called checks and balances. The most popular form of checks and balances is the presidential veto. So the legislative branch, aka the Congress, makes a law. It has to be signed by the president before it actually becomes a law. The president can choose to say, I don't like this, and veto it. That's an example of one branch exercising power over the other branch. There's more on here, but a lot of them probably won't make a lot of sense to you, and we're not going into it because this is very introductory. But you feel free to go ahead and take a look at that. It also shows us the three branches and a little bit about what their jobs are. I'm going to hit that up right now. The judicial branch at the bottom there is the Supreme Court, which interprets the law. The legislative branch, also known as the Congress, makes the laws. And the executive branch is the president and all his appointments in cabinet, and they are supposed to enforce the law. This moves us into citizenship. What is citizenship? Now, your book goes on into more detail and a lot of words, but I'm going to be more concise. Basically, we all live here, and even though our country has issues, it's a great place to live. All of us, even our poor people, are wealthier than most of the world. Such is our high standard of living. We've been a top world power for over 100 years, back-to-back World War champs, and hopefully we stay there. My point is, we're lucky to have been born here, so it's only fair that we all do our part to try to make the country a better place. There are a few roles we can play, even you as minors, non-legal adults. There's things you can do to be a good citizen. Let's talk about 6 things we can do to be good citizens. Well, follow the laws. That's something you can do. Most of them are for our own good and make the country a safer place. Serve on a jury if required. I can't remember if it's when you get your driver's license or you turn 18, but you're basically registered, and then you can be called upon to serve in a jury. All of us, as U.S. citizens, have the right to trial by jury, and as a result, sometimes you need to serve on a jury. Naturalization is a fancy word for becoming an American citizen. If you moved here from another country, it's right and good to go through the process of becoming a citizen, and it's important for the government to know how to serve the will of people, to know who's living here. Just be aware. We all vote, or we should be voting, so you need to be an informed citizen so you can make informed decisions, or do things like let your congressman know, hey, I don't like this, or hey, this is a problem and you need to fix it. You can't help run the country, essentially, as an informed citizen if you're not informed. Number 5, in not so many words, is don't be a jerk. This here country is a melting pot of different people, all together. And you don't have to like everyone, but you should respect everyone. Last but not least, do your part to make the community better. A little effort at the local level, being like your town, like Ross Township, or, Butler County, or Rostraver, or wherever you happen to live, Westchester, a little work at the local level can go a long way. Just imagine if every local municipality, every other Thursday of the month, everyone got out and picked up litter. The whole country would be sparkly clean. Now apply that to every issue we have. The country would be a lot better place if everyone did a little bit to help out. There's my soapbox speech, Captain America. Alright, there's a little bit on global citizenship, which is very similar to citizenship as a United States citizen, but basically on a world scale. We talked in the last lesson about globalization and how the world is becoming a smaller place because it's more interconnected. As a result, the problems of one country are starting to have more effects on other countries. Like, for example, the Syrian Civil War. It's called the Syrian Civil War, and the Syrian War, the civil war is in Syria, but the problem has basically become everyone's problem. There's a refugee crisis. Syria can't deal with it. Now the whole world's trying to help out. There's all kind of problems. There's more refugees than people can take. It's a mess. But this is an example of the problem of one country spilling over and becoming a problem of everyone. Globalization. Let's check out our assignment for the day. Okay, discussion. Simple task I have for you. I want you to post in the discussion board on how you are a good citizen, or how you can become a good citizen when you're an adult, however you want to field it. Now you can be a good citizen of the country or of the world. It's your choice. I will post first so you have a good example. Boom, there it is. In the lesson I mentioned multiple ways in which you can be a good citizen. So look there for guidance if you need it. Shoot me a message, whatever you need. Please use complete sentences and write one paragraph. You may recall, for Mr. Young, one paragraph is equal to 4 sentences. So that's it for the day. Let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, have a lovely Tuesday. It's Tuesday. See ya.